What's up and welcome back. I'm John Stark from ActiveMovieGuy.com, your favorite blind film critic, and decided to get into this franchise for spooky season. This is 28 Days Later, the film directed by Danny Boyle, written by Alex Garland. Remember when he just used to be a writer? Now he's a director too. That actually I generally get more excited now about an Alex Garland project than I do a Danny Boyle project. Oh, the times they have changed. We've got Cillian Murphy here, Naomi Harris, Brendan Gleeson, and Christopher Eccleston. It's been a long time since this one came out, and I did find this with audio description. I think they did it for the UK, so if you can find the British guy doing this track, you'll be fine. But it is a British film, which makes sense that somebody would have prioritized it in the UK, and then over here we're just like, nah, nah. We're just gonna keep making sequels to the film, but nah. So, 20 Days Later is set. It reminded me a lot of, I've seen this film before, I should say that. It predates my blindness, so I actually saw this film in theaters. I actually own it on DVD. It was pretty cool. I remember watching it back in the day and thinking to myself, like, wow, they're doing a lot for indie film, like a really indie film. It felt very, it's a film that sort of surprised and ended up in wide release, but it wasn't shot like that. It was very Blair Witch Project, where the quality of the shoot does not match the $200 million films that it's up against. So, but it was kind of a little breakout hit. Obviously, the first film didn't cost a lot to make. That has helped a lot of horror franchises, is that your first film is made with like almost no budget, and then you come out with multiple sequels. Saw was the same way. Saw was made for like nothing, and then it was like this huge hit. So they ended up profiting like gangbusters off of Saw, and then just replicated that 10 times. So 20 Days Later, of course, they ordered a sequel to that, but they wanted to go bigger, so it was more expensive. And then we had to wait forever for 28 years later. And now we're getting an immediate sequel to 28 years. It doesn't make any sense. So, okay, 28 Days Later. This is a solid movie. It's funny because when I went to IMDb just to like check the stats and get my ducks in a row, I noticed that the first genre that this was listed under was body horror. I was like, why is this the first genre on your list? It's not body horror, like as its predominant genre. No, uh, no. Anyway, that's what I'm. Anyway, so there's a rage virus, and we start off. There's not really much lead in here. We start off in this like testing lab facility where these animal rights activists come in there, and they're like trying to free these monkeys, and the scientists are like, no, don't do that. They're very highly contagious. They've got this rage virus. Of course, they free them, and the monkeys go crazy and kill people and spread this rage virus, which infects people pretty quickly. Once you get it, you turn into a rage zombie. And it's not the same as being a zombie where you have to like die and then come back, when there's no more room in hell, the dead will walk the earth. uh, it's not that. Is like a lot quicker. So then we cut to Cillian Murphy walking around in some really cool shots that if you've ever seen like a making of or Danny Boyle, discuss how he filmed this, he did get these shots. Like he got these shots of Cillian Murphy, the real shots of him like walking around, these huge parts of England, of London and everything, just like with no traffic. There's like no one's around. It's just completely vacant. And the fact that he was able to create those moments and shut everything down just so that he can get these shots of Cillian Murphy. Just, hello, hello. Eventually, Murphy will find some other people who are alive. He'll pick them up along the way. They're going to go sort of on a journey, a little bit of a, I guess a road trip. They get a signal over the radio that leads them to believe there's a little bit of a military installation that's held up. So they figure if they can get there, that they'll be safer. Okay. So they head there. He basically, for a while there, he's just with Naomi Harris, and then they pick up Brendan Gleeson and the actress that plays his daughter in this, and go from there. And lots of hard choices are made. Some scary, tense moments. I remembered some of these moments too. There's a jump scare where like one of the rage zombies like smashes through a window, like unexpectedly behind somebody, and I remembered that. I was like, oh yeah, I actually kind of like that's the one image that's ingrained in my brain from this movie, as I remember that shot of that rage zombie just smashing through the window there. So it's cool. I've seen it a couple times in my life. I wouldn't say it's a desert island movie for me. I like zombie things, and I think this was sort of my part of my introduction to realizing that I like zombie things. Shortly after this, Zack Snyder's going to remake Dawn of the Dead, which is going to reinforce that, because this comes way before I fell in love with The Walking Dead as a TV series. So it was these things like 28 Days Later and Dawn of the Dead and Shaun of the Dead that all helped to move me in that direction. But yeah, this is I guess a horror classic now, I would say. All things considered, it's early Danny Boyle. You got a great screenwriter with Alex Garland. It's an original concept. You've got a just a really killer cast with Academy Award winner Cillian Murphy. You've got Academy Award nominee Brendan Gleeson. It's obviously, Danny would go on with Slumdog Millionaire years later. Not that long after this, but a few years after this, he's going to have Slumdog Millionaire. I think in between those two movies, he did Millions. I don't know I can't remember if he did anything else. I think Millions was in there, was in between 28 Days Later and Slumdog Millionaire. And yeah, so if you want to check this out, it's propagating a lot of places right now without audio description, so you have to do some searching for the audio description. I'm sorry, it's just I know, because the third film is out now, and third film's on Netflix, so this film is pretty easy to find as of my recording. It was on IMDb. They had it listed in a whole bunch of different places: Netflix, AMC Plus, Pluto. Just you can find it. But I feel less bad about hunting down audio description when I own a physical DVD of it, because it's like, if you had put it on the fucking DVD to begin with, I wouldn't need this. I could just put the DVD in like a normal person, like everyone else in this world. But needless to say, that's not the case. So 28 Days Later, revisiting this. Well, it hasn't been 28 years. Revisiting this sometime later. 22 years later. I don't know. Anyway, 23 years later, something like that. And I would say we'll see where the franchise goes from here, because I still haven't. I'm rewatching this before I watch the third film, so we'll see what we've done with it. But I think this was probably just a great concept, and we didn't need to make sequels. But I see why we did. It reminded me of that the franchise where we kept checking in on that group of kids. It was like, what was it, like 21 up, 32 up, 40, 52 up in that franchise. It kind of feels like that. And then we'll do, after 28 years later, maybe we'll do 28 decades later. I'm set in the future. Future zombies. Space zombies. So, 28 days later, horror classic, whatever. I like it. I don't really love it, but I like it. And I guess I always have. And this is my third or fourth time seeing it. Maybe fifth, but probably third or fourth. I'm going to go with a 7.6 out of 10. 7.6 out of 10. I think that's a solid score for that. So, check it out. And we'll see what, see what the other ones like. I'm going to be reviewing them. So stay tuned. But I will see you guys on the other side.